This Kanye conspiracy that just went out to the world is horrifying. Ye had an entire run as a Christian, seemingly. We've had numerous pastors come on and share their experience.
A friend of mine that came to me, he said, hey, you know, I work with Kanye. He really wants to do the drop at a church, and he wants to use your church.
In that whole season, my objective was really just to help him be rooted and grounded in God's word.
Then he clearly had a very strong falling off with regards to his faith because he just wasn't sure how he feels about Jesus anymore, and then went on to say he is God. Yeah, very, very bad. In that, it's been very sad. But before we get into that reason, guys, my name is Ruslan. This channel exists to encourage, empower, and inspire you to live a life that blesses God. Sometimes that requires us learning from other people's mishaps, as we will in this video about Kanye. So if you're new here or if you're not new here, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. There's a huge percentage of the people that watch this channel, unfortunately, are not subscribed. All right, let's jump into the topic. Kanye's former, I think this was his chief of staff. Also, this is a former creator that I want to say got ran off the internet. So, you know, we got to take all this with a grain of salt. There's a reason Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, is no longer capable of successfully releasing music or clothing. Well, to be fair, Vultures was a pretty big success independently. Yeah. He had the #1 record on the first Vultures. We'll see how the second Vultures does. But that was just this year. It was a pretty big record. So I don't know if he's having trouble successfully releasing music or clothing. Maybe, I guess. I don't know. In fact, there are several reasons, but the most serious and the most recent is his dentist, Thomas Connolly. No. Before we go any further, you got to show us who this Thomas Connolly is, Zach.
This is his dentist. Ready?
You guys ready?
Dentist reveal.
Okay, so I'm not sure why anyone's letting this guy go near their mouth. Okay, what in the world will possess you to allow this guy to install anything in your mouth? Pause. Connolly got Ye hooked on nitros, laughing gas. Now, listen, I remember being a kid and taking laughing gas.
Really?
It's pretty awesome.
It's like a drug?
Oh yeah.
Like you got laughing gas as a minor taking drugs?
Oh yeah.
Not from the doctor.
From my dentist.
Oh, from your dentist. Okay, that's what you're saying.
It was great.
Oh.
It was amazing.
Why? What is it?
Because you're super relaxed. Everything is light. Everything's funny. You're kind of here. You're kind of there. You're kind of everywhere. It was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, laughing gas is awesome. And I understand what will probably happen. Ye goes to get his teeth done with the titanium teeth he got put in. Probably is like, oh man, this is great. Can I get more of this? Right? And then you potentially get a Michael Jackson situation. Michael Jackson couldn't go to sleep, so then they start putting him under with actual what is that called when they put you under for
anesthesia?
With actual anesthesia, and then that's a Michael pass. You didn't know that?
Oh, I thought it was just regular drugs.
No. They were putting him under. And they were putting him under. He had trouble. So Ye's probably like, oh man, I'm stressed out, blah, blah, blah. This was super fun. And now this dude is the dope man. And he's following him around. It is my belief that Connolly sought to diminish Ye's mental faculties so that Connolly and his business associates could extract millions of dollars from him. Earlier this year, I uncovered the fraud and intervened. Ye, hooked on nitrous, blew up our relationship on purpose by proposing something he knew I'd have to resign over because I had told him so. The resurrection of his longtime idle fantasy of making corn. Thomas Connolly is a dangerous predator who targets African-American celebrities into whose mouth he puts fake diamonds. I mean, go back to his picture. Is this shocking to anyone?
Yeah.
Like,
wow, he's up to criminal behavior. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought this guy was allegedly putting fake diamonds in people's mouth?
Wow.
Who would have thought?
Kind of a cool grid, though. You know, it's an interesting gig.
Yeah. I don't know.
He definitely does not have main character syndrome.
For the record, I don't know if this is the same kind of dentist like my Mormon dentist that like puts on crowns and stuff.
I was expecting a Mormon dentist. I was expecting like tucked in t-shirt.
Tucked in t-shirt.
Or tucked in like polo or whatever it is. This is a little closer, but this is still like, this is still, you know, this is the guest that the men's conference books. To have the interesting life story, but just turned his life around.
This is the sword swallower at the Christian conference.
Yo. I mean, this is your dentist, dog. Come on, man.
The tail sign is the tattoos on the hands.
Yeah.
He looks like a cartel member, someone said in the chat. All right. So let's go back to this thread. Thomas Connolly, a dangerous predator, it says, whose mouth puts fake diamonds. As I suspected, it's a little Yachty. Why is little Yachty out here catching strikes? He must be stopped. I filed a complaint with the California Dental Board last week to that. So is he a real dentist? Because there's guys that do grills and stuff, but I don't think they like went to dentist. Like I think Paul Wall makes grills for people. I don't think he went to dentist school.
So I think it's one thing to create a mold and then create a grill that you click over your teeth.
Oh,
but I think he's installing, like drilling into teeth, like veneers almost.
Whoa, yeah, that's definitely different.
Like plastic surgery vibes.
Wow. Oh my gosh. All right, I filed a complaint with the California Dental Board last week to that end. Here's the full text of my affidavit. It makes for very shocking reading. And he said he recorded it too. Here's an audio version.
You mean the audiobook?
My legal name is Milo Yiannopoulos. I'm the affiant of this sworn jurat affidavit, a declaration regarding Thomas P. Connolly, DDS, a dentist. I began my career as a political commentator, as a New York Times bestselling author and award-winning investigative reporter. Since 2018, I've served congressmen, senators, billionaires, and most recently, megastars in the role of Chief Operating Officer, or Chief of Staff, tasked with solving mysteries and fixing problems where others have failed. Between 2022 and 2024...
Hold on. That's a
this man just gave his pitch.
That's an amazing job description for yourself.
Yeah.
Task with solving mysteries. That's amazing. All right, go ahead.
I worked for the rapper, fashion designer, and entrepreneur Ye, formerly known as Kanye West. I resigned from his company, Yeezy LLC, in May 2024 on a matter unrelated to this complaint, at which time I held the position of Chief of Staff. I was the most senior employee in the company, with duties analogous to a combined Chief Executive Officer and Chief Operating Officer. Prior to my work with Ye, I served as a senior congressional aide to Georgia Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. Before that, I worked for a series of wealthy private individuals in Florida. I therefore possess a respectable track record exposing fraud, theft, and ill intent of every kind. In fact, it's quite excellent, which is why I've been hired by some of the wealthiest and most famous people in the world to do it. I offer this account in support of my complaint to the California Dental Board, submitted today, pertaining to reckless, unethical, dishonest, exploitative, and upon information and belief, illegal conduct.
So he put this to the dental board, but I want to say he filed a separate thing to the FBI.
Oh.
By charging them for natural stone diamond orthodontics, but in reality using cheap lab-grown diamonds, allegedly for as much as a 15,000% price difference.
Oh my gosh.
12. A written confession from Connolly that the most recent of his two bankruptcies was entered into illegally for the purposes of evading tax, and upon information and belief was also calculated to excuse Connolly from a potentially large court judgment pertaining to life-altering surgical mistakes that he made to a woman's mouth. 13. Testimony from Connolly's business partner that he owes a debt of more than $2 million to a Mexican drug cartel, and that this cartel owns his surgical practice in Beverly Hills.
We literally just said he looks like he's part of the cartel.
I was elevated to Chief of Staff, the most senior employee in the company at Yeezy, in January of this year, after previously holding the positions of Political Director and Head of Public Affairs. Testimony from Connolly's business partner that he owes a debt of more than $2 million to a Mexican drug cartel, and that this cartel owns his surgical practice in Beverly Hills and uses it to launder money.
It's funny. The dude dressed like this was allowed to operate on someone's mouth. He operated on a billionaire's mouth. Think through that for a second. Are you kidding me right now? You wouldn't allow this dude to touch your mouth. You would never in 1,000 years be like, yeah, I'm going to go seek that guy out.
Yeah.
Unless you have some weird fixation with him and you think he's cool, he's edgy. Ooh. Stop it. Get some help.
Connolly is a former columnist for the Huffington Post, where he once enlightened readers on the dangers of oral sex and cold sores. These days, he is a celebrity dentist, which in his case means both that he has celebrity clients and that he is himself desperate to become famous. He enjoys little success at the latter, but his clients are sufficiently newsworthy and his creations sufficiently garish that Connolly has been profiled by the New York Times as the man who creates million-dollar smiles with diamonds. Connolly describes himself as the father of diamond dentistry, but if his business partner, self-described computer hacker Idris Kiba, who resides at 3413 125th Place Southeast, Everett, Washington, 98208, and who is currently under federal indictment for death threats, is to be believed, that nickname may not survive for much longer. Kiba is an erratic, inconsistent witness who seems to enjoy, at least in his own mind, playing all sides. But he shared conversations and documents that satisfied me he had done such extensive business with Connolly, he could fairly be described as Connolly's business partner. His grievances against him appeared to be legitimate, and his frustration genuine. Kiba says Connolly charges rappers and cartel bosses for natural stones, but he puts vastly cheaper lab-grown diamonds in their mouths instead. During various text and telephone conversations, Kiba gave varying accounts of how many of Connolly's clients got fake stones, but they included Kiba himself, which Kiba offered as a reason for his break with Connolly and his willingness to supply information to me. On one occasion, Kiba told me he discovered the fraud early enough to have his stones replaced with real diamonds.
Jeez.
On another, he said he had stones extracted and replaced. But either way, this is a matter for a full investigation by law enforcement.
And by the way, these are permanent pieces.
Yeah, little installations then.
Yeah,
too.
these are not unpermanent where you can. That's not like a grill that you can take out. These are in there forever.
Given that his client is said to include international drug dealers as well as entertainers, Connolly will lose a lot more than his favorite nickname if, or rather when, his patients find out. The rapper Lil Yachty gave Connolly $1.05 million to permanently screw diamonds into his teeth. If they turn out to be fake, as Connolly's partner alleges that they are, it may cost 6 figures just to find out. Because the diamond bioluminescence test for lab stones cannot be done while the stones are in a person's mouth.
Oh, no.
So you get the uninstalled.
You got to uninstall them just to get them tested, just to put them back in?
Hey, you know, that at that point, if you feel like $1 million, Lil Yachty, just keep them in.
Just leave them in, man. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. This
Connolly
is
has been bankrupt twice. The second bankruptcy, by his own admission, entered into so he could avoid tax.
How much? So to me, it goes, I think this. I think how much of this is Kanye's fault? Where's that line between, like, he's autistic and being taken advantage of?
Taking advantage of autistic kids.
He said that, but he said that himself. So this is not me. This is not me saying that. When he said they misdiagnosed me with bipolar, I don't have bipolar. I think I'm slightly autistic. He said that himself, and he's being taken advantage of, right? And versus and then how much responsibility does he have in this?
Thomas Connolly has a habit of launching into preemptive defenses of nitrous oxide before his interlocutor has even said good morning, and this tells its own story. His omnipresence in those months, and that of the large surgical tank of gas that inevitably followed him around solidly as he clamped himself to Ye, sometimes for days on end, violated both spirit and letter of state and federal regulation. Given Connolly's familiarity with rap and hip-hop music stars, many of whom have been clients in the past, there can be no doubt he was aware of Ye's psychological vulnerabilities. I believe he sought to exploit them, and to have acted with sinister purpose against a celebrity whose mental health struggles have not only been the subject of blanket media coverage for a decade or more, but which were the subject of his 2018 album, Ye, upon whose cover appears the phrase, "I hate being bipolar, it's awesome." Connolly was also likely aware of a 2015 Paper magazine cover story in which Ye spoke effusively about a particularly enjoyable trip to the dentist. Payment records from Yeezy LLC show hundreds of thousands of dollars in payments to Connolly, and that's just the ones I know about up until May, such as $257,000 on January 7th, marked dental work, followed by another $61,000 for anesthesia 2 weeks later on January 29th, also marked dental work. And these are 2 of many payments. In June, Connolly began paying Kiba to take fan pages offline that were being critical of him, and in particular that were mentioning Ye's nitrous intake. Upon information and belief, Connolly paid a 5-figure sum to have one of Ye's most popular fan pages suspended on Instagram, and did so in concert with current employee Eric Kui, damaging Yeezy LLC's commercial interests because that fan page had posted concerns about the volume of Ye's nitrous use. Upon information and belief, Connolly attempted and failed to persuade Kiba to hack the mobile telephone and destroy the social media accounts of this author, of me, and, according to Kiba, inquired about doing physical harm to me in retaliation for my refusal to engage him as a consultant for $200,000 a month. The attempted sale, back in March of 2024, of over $1 million worth of stolen Yeezy Gap merchandise was conducted, it turns out, from a warehouse owned by Dominic Shambroni, a close friend and a patient of Connolly's.
Whoa! You remember when that happened? They found a bunch. You probably don't remember, but there's a big scam on TMZ, a story of a bunch of Yeezy merchandise being found, and it was like $1 million worth of stuff. And come to find out, this dude is connected to it.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
He later claimed to have been fully exonerated in this matter by the LAPD, but of course the police department does not determine innocence or guilt. An investigation into this matter is currently with the FBI. Upon information and belief, Eric Kui, a personal assistant currently employed by Yeezy, told several online fan groups in June of 2024 that a scan of Ye's head prompted by my warnings had revealed evidence of permanent brain damage from rampant, prolonged abuse of nitrous oxide.
So he probably went to see Dr. Amen and had his brain scanned.
Ooh, yeah.
Remember? Dr. Amen Carl Lynch just had him on. And he does brain scans, and then you could tell. And so they're saying that this dude has permanent brain damage. Hopefully, permanent brain damage can be reversed. Oh man, this makes so much sense.
Yeah,
this makes so much sense.
Kui has a reputation for untrustworthiness, and I have not seen evidence of the scans he says were performed. But if anything close to it is true, Connolly is responsible for more than just financial malfeasance. Whether by recklessness, the most charitable interpretation, or as I strongly believe, as part of a malicious, premeditated assault for financial gain, Connolly may have done irreparable harm to the mind of the world's most talented living musician, and arguably its most commercially successful living fashion designer. There can be no medical justification for the presence of 4 surgical-sized canisters of nitrous gas at any patient's home. Nor can there be any explanation for Connolly moving into the same building as Ye that is not sinister in the extreme.
Man.
The wrongdoing of men like Connolly is a subject for federal law enforcement and not for celebrity managers or dental boards. But I urge the California Dental Board to suspend this man's license immediately, investigate him in all possible haste and with all possible scrutiny, and when, as I know they will, their inquiries further substantiate what I have attested to here, adding more charges along the way, I implore the California Dental Board to revoke his license permanently. Connolly's predatory targeting of a demographic he regards as especially credulous, African-American celebrities, makes the urgency all the greater.
That's heavy, man. That sucks. That sucks. Wow. But that just goes to show, like, how many people are in these worlds that are looking to exploit people, not just financially, but allow them or get them hooked on drugs or get them sucked into some weird cult-like activity. Someone like Ye, who was, at least for a season, attempting to follow Jesus. Whether we could discuss on how sincere that was, how if he's, you know, because he's claimed to be God, now he's no longer saved and he's apostate and he can't come back to faith. I don't know how that's not the point. This is really sad. Like, this is really sad, and it makes sense, and hopefully he can bounce back from this and figure it out. Proverbs 13, verse 20, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. Trouble pursues the sinner, but the righteous are rewarded with good things. That's it.
He got a lot of bad people around him.
A lot of bad people around him, man. That's brutal. Sheesh, man, that's heavy. All right, so let me know what you think about this. And if you want to hear about the time Kanye exposed everything that's going on and the deeper issue that he's dealing with, which is a lack of healing, check this video out over here. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.